Hello YouTubers, Rogue Monkey Jr. here for another episode of Bare Bones Monday. The gun featured in today's episode will be the AN-94 by request. This is an assault rifle for the assault class. It is a basic unlock for the class. It was a free weapon introduced in one of the DLCs, the free DLCs, last year or something like that. The gun is actually of Russian making, and the actual real-life gun features a complex 2-round burst system that actually shoots the shot so fast that the recoil is only felt after the shot, like the burst is done. So you hardly feel any recoil in real life. This is not the case in Battlefield 4, of course. We will get back to the recoil and whatnot a little bit later in the video. So the general stats of the gun: max damage 24.5, minimum damage 18, drop-off starts at 12.5 and finishes at 60, which is a pretty standard assault rifle model. And the fire rate, basic fire rate on full auto is 600 rounds per minute. This gun, if you use it on full auto, which is how it defaults in your kit when you take it, it defaults to auto. It was not the case when it was in Battlefield Bad Company 2. This was actually my favorite gun in Battlefield Bad Company 2. It was amazing putting an ACOG on there. You could snipe people from across the map with this thing. It was just a beast. I don't know why they didn't implement it in Battlefield 4 to have it default as the 2-shot burst, but anyways, that doesn't matter because you can just change your fire rate anyways. But using this gun with just a regular full auto is pretty much useless. It's just like a regular slow rate of fire assault rifle, which is pretty stable. You're not going to be doing that good with it. Well, you can do good with it on full auto, but you're not going to be as competitive as you would if you switch it to burst fire, which is where the gun really shines. When you switch it to burst fire, you're going to notice that the bullets are just flying out of this thing. It actually shoots double the speed, which is 1200 rounds per minute versus the 600 rounds per minute on full auto. It also has one of the higher muzzle velocities of the assault rifle class at 620 meters per second, and then it goes all the way down to like 350 when you have a suppressor on there. Personally, I don't really use suppressors on my gun because it slows down the bullet velocity. Unless of course I'm trying to play really sneaky, or I really need to use the suppressor to sneak up on people that are really skilled, and I really need to try and flank them a lot more than I would in regular games. Of course, with the AN-94, seeing as you are going to more than likely be using it in burst fire mode, you're going to want to keep your distance a little bit more than if you were using a fully automatic assault rifle with a high rate of fire. So putting that suppressor on there is going to hurt your muzzle velocity, and if you're shooting from a range and people are running, then you have to lead your target a lot more than if you didn't have a suppressor on there. It has a mag size of 31, which is a pretty standard magazine size for the assault rifle. Now, one of the downsides to this gun is that it has a super long reload. Even the short reload is quite long at 2.4 seconds, and the long reload is going to take you 3.5 seconds. So you're really going to want to time your reloads more than you would with like the M416, which has like a 1.8 second reload time, which is ridiculously fast. You're going to have to really time your reloads and take cover when you're doing that, or have a really reliable sidearm. The recoil up for the weapon is 0.32, and on the Battlefield mechanic, you're going to feel that recoil on the second shot of the burst. Not on the first shot, on the second shot. So if you fire too fast in burst fire, you're going to really lose your target a lot. It has a recoil left of 0.1 and a recoil right of 0.12, so there's hardly any left to right recoil. And it also has a first shot multiplier of 2.1, but seeing as the vertical recoil is affected on the second bullet of your burst, that's going to be applied to that shot right there. So it has a pretty good first shot multiplier, so you're really going to have to tap fire, burst fire it a little bit slower because of that heavy vertical recoil. I'm not really going to talk about the hip fire because you're probably not going to use this gun in hip fire anyways, but the sights, the iron sights on this gun are just awful, especially when you're using burst fire. I mean, your gun kicks a lot more because you're always doing the first shot recoil multiplier. You're just going to be losing your targets constantly using this gun stock. So as soon as you can throw something on there, any sight is going to be a lot better than using the iron sights. I mean, it's a world of difference. I was having a little bit of a hard time, especially when my targets were further away. I couldn't track them as easily with the iron sights. Moving on to the attachment part of the video. For the sight, I just put a coyote on here. Actually, this is kind of like stupid because in real life people actually use the coyote RDS because it's actually a pretty flimsy sight, and I don't know. I just like it the best because it has the least housing on it, but sometimes I actually like using the Cobra. But anyways, for the accessory, I would actually probably should have put a magnifier on there, but seeing as I was playing actually in domination and closer type game modes, I put the green laser sight just in case I needed to hip fire. But if you use this gun to its advantages and you play in longer range maps, the magnifier would be more suited for that type of gameplay. For the barrel, I don't put anything because there's hardly any left to right recoil, and the vertical recoil, I don't really see the point of putting some of these on it. For the heavier barrel, it's just going to make your vertical recoil even higher, which is kind of contradictory to what it actually should do. It should make your barrel heavier, so it should reduce your recoil. Anyways, we're not going to get into the realism of Battlefield 4, it's a video game. For the underbarrel, I just put a angle grip or folding grip. I put a folding grip because I find it looks a little bit cooler on the N94. This is actually going to reduce your first shot recoil, so that's going to help out a lot since you're going to be burst firing this weapon. Finishing up this video on some Operation Metro domination gameplay, which is kind of weird that I was playing this with this type of weapon, but I was just playing with some friends and they wanted to play this map, so I didn't care. And also, sorry, I was about the background voices. I was actually fiddling around with my recording software, and I forgot to switch, split the audio lines. Anyways, you can see that with the freaking sight on this gun, it's a world of difference, and you can really see that it has its strength and its weaknesses, really close quarter combat being its weakness, because you're not going to be putting as much damage as a high rate of fire automatic weapon. But its strengths being that if you get those 2 consecutive headshots in, it's pretty much instantaneous death, because of the 2.13 headshot multiplier. They're just going to get wrecked and they won't even know what happened. And of course, at longer ranges, you're just going to be so accurate with this weapon, it's just going to be ridiculous. So you're going to have a really easy time at picking off targets from really far away, even if you can only see their dome piece, and they're going to wonder what the hell just happened. Of course, like I said, I would want them to put the burst fire mode on default, but if you put the burst fire mode, let's say you spawn in, you put the burst fire mode, it'll stay burst fire until you switch servers or whatever. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. I hope you guys liked the video on the AN94. Leave a comment down below, let me know how you guys like this gun, if you ever used it, what gun you would like to see featured in the next episode of Bare Bones Monday. Like, subscribe, share, that always helps me out a lot. Thanks again for watching, I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.
I